morning, everybody, and welcome to Ask the Expert, an award-winning daily series from 8:30 a.m. to 9 a.m. to help small businesses. If you've got any questions for me this morning, you can ask them in the comments of the live feed. And if you need any more advice, you can join the official Intuit QuickBooks SMB community group on Facebook, where we've got accountants and business experts like me on hand for you 24/7. During the live session today, we're also going to be running a poll, so please do engage with it, and I will be revealing the results at the end. So a quick little reminder that this week on the 3rd of March, which is Wednesday, you can attend the Intuit QuickBooks virtual event, QuickBooks Connect. So the virtual event brings together entrepreneurs, small business owners, and accountants to grow, learn, and connect with each other. So please do make sure you tune in because it's going to be a really, really good live event. So, good morning, everybody. Happy Monday. My name is Rachel Martin, and I am a speaker, an author, a business owner, and most importantly for today, I am an accountant. So I specialise in working with female entrepreneurs and influencers, and then our wider accountancy practice, which is called StriveX, helps businesses of all shapes and sizes, and we absolutely love offering a person-centred and holistic approach to the way that we offer and deliver our accountancy services. I am super active on Instagram and would absolutely love to see you guys over on my channel. So you can find me on Instagram by searching for accountant_she. Okay, so whilst we are waiting for some of your juicy questions to come in this morning, I thought I would run past basically an overview of all of the COVID support that is available to you today ahead of the budget announcement that we are all waiting for on Wednesday. So I basically wanted to take some time to quickly run through the support that's available to you at the moment as a small business owner. And especially within our practice, we've seen this a lot, that for a lot of small business owners, the information on the coronavirus support is constantly changing. There's lots of new updates, and it can be really, really difficult to sort of keep on top of things and figure out exactly what support is available to you, what you're entitled to. So I thought, so I really hope this helps you and gives you a little bit of insight into how we do things within our practice and how we could help you. So this one feels like a permanent fixture, and it feels like I can't remember a time when it didn't exist, and it's the job retention or the furlough scheme. So the JRS, job retention scheme, can cover 80% of your staff's wages for employees up to a maximum cap of £2,500 per person. As of today, which is the 1st of March, the scheme has currently been extended to the 30th of April 2021. But again, we are expecting an update on that on Wednesday. So next up, we've got the COVID Business Interruptions Loan Scheme, which again, a lot of people have heard a lot of things about. So if you have a turnover of up to £45 million, you can apply for loans, overdrafts, invoice finance, and asset finance of up to £5 million. And that's a really, really important one that we've seen help a lot of business owners so far. Okay, so SEISS is another one that again feels like a permanent fixture, and a lot of people this week will be eagerly waiting for Wednesday's budget announcement, because the 4th and final SEISS grant is going to be running and covering the period from February to April 2021, but we haven't been advised A, at what level it'll be at, and B, when you guys can apply. So the only other important thing to mention is firstly, that we are expecting eagerly an announcement about this on Wednesday. And secondly, that only those currently eligible for SEISS will be available for the extension. So they're not accepting any new applicants or any new applications. So moving on to our next small business support, we've got the Local Restrictions Support Grant, which is for businesses which were forced to close due to the local tiered restrictions which commenced in November and December 2020. So this grant is there to help businesses that had to close because of those restrictions. Unlike a lot of the other grants that we've got available, you don't actually need to be paying business rates on your premises, but local councils may also offer grants to businesses that do at their discretion. So small businesses with properties that have a rateable value of less than £15,000 will get £1,334 a month. Medium-sized businesses with properties that have rateable values of between £15,001 to £51,000 will get £2,000 a month, and then larger businesses can claim up to £3,000 a month. This one is a grant, so the money doesn't have to be paid back, which is an important point to mention. The second grant we've got available at the moment is called the Top-Up Grant for Retail, Hospitality and Leisure Businesses. So this is additional funding which has been made available for those sectors specifically, and it's coming in the form of a one-off top-up grant. It is provided on a property-by-property basis to support businesses which were forced to close in the latest national lockdown restrictions. And again, it's done on the rateable value of your property. So small businesses with a rateable value of £15,000 and under will be getting £4,000. Medium-sized businesses with a rateable value of more than £51,000 get £9,000. And then the buffer in between 15,000 and 51 are getting £6,000. So this one specifically, and again, it's called the Top-Up Grant for Retail, Hospitality and Leisure, is in addition to existing business support, including the local restriction support grant and business rates relief. So this is a really, really useful one for a lot of small businesses in those specific sectors that have been hit very hard. So next up, we've got the local restriction support grant, which is available to businesses which were not forced to close within the tiered system across November, December, and a little bit of January, but you guys did suffer severely reduced demand. So these grants are worth up to £2,100 each month that the tiered restrictions applied, plus they are retrospective, so areas that have already faced restrictions are eligible. And again, local authorities will be administering the grants. And businesses will receive funding equivalent to either £934 a month, £1,400 a month, or £2,100 a month, depending on your rateable value. And again, local authorities are going to be given an extra 5% outside of those amounts to distribute to businesses that fall out of the business rate system, again, at their discretion. So finally, there's one extra special grant, which it does feel like we've been listened to, that a lot of people don't pay business rates and fall outside of those strict boundaries, but actually really need support. So finally, we've got the additional restrictions grant, and that is for businesses which aren't covered by any of the other grants. And local authorities can give out this discretionary funding to businesses that aren't eligible for any of the other ones. So I think at this point, it's really important to mention that even though I've just covered a lot of the different grants and schemes that are available to you, the government have been really, really good at activating and rolling out the local business support hub. So each county in the UK has their own local hub, which is there to provide you support, information and funding. So if you haven't already, I would really, really encourage you to give firstly to find your local business hub, and if you Google find my local business hub, you can put your postcode in there and find it. And then secondly, just give them a call. You can explain a little bit about your business, where you're at the moment, and just that they will be able to have really open conversations with you about the business, how you're doing, and how best they can help you. So I also wanted to cover off some different aspects of training support. So now that the the plan has been released to be coming out of lockdown, lots of people are thinking about reopening their businesses or growing businesses that have been doing quite well during lockdown and over the last 12 months. So I wanted to cover the different options that are available to you if you would like to look at training and apprenticeships. So firstly, we've got the Kickstart scheme, which when it was first released back in 2020, it was only available to businesses who were able to provide 30 or more jobs or placements. And that really segmented a lot of small businesses out of the market. But on the 3rd of February 2021, the scheme actually changed, and you no longer need a minimum of 30 placements in order to apply directly to the scheme. which is great news for small, growing businesses. So the scheme provides funding for you to create new job placements for 16 to 24-year-olds, which are currently on universal credit and they're actually at risk of long-term unemployment. So the funding from the government for you as a small business owner covers 100% of either the national minimum wage or the national living wage, depending on the age of the participant, for 25 hours a week for a total of 6 months. On top of that, it covers all associated national insurance contributions and all employer automatic enrolment contributions. From there, employers can spread the start date of the job up to the end of 2021. So if your scaling spans across the year, you can also plan for that too. On top of the actual wages that are covered, you'll also receive a £1,500 lump sum per job placement, which is there to help you cover setup costs for the role and to help you support that young person with their employability skills over the course of their placement with you. We've also got the apprenticeship scheme, which again is another fantastic scheme that was actually in place before coronavirus, but lots of people have been taking it up and doing lots and lots of research. So again, there's lots of funding benefits, training benefits, and business growth benefits of hiring an apprentice within your business. And again, if that's something that you'd like to chat about, please do get in touch. We would absolutely love to hear from you. So, lots of juicy questions have been coming in from you guys this morning, so I'm just going to start taking some. Okay, so Rasheen from Twitter has got in touch to say, is there going to be a limit on the number of open hours when lockdown is lifted? I want to keep longer opening hours so that I can make the most of the opening hours. Firstly, thank you for your question, Rasheen. Secondly, I think there's a couple of different aspects that will affect this. I think firstly, the roadmap that was released by Boris last week was very much a first draft. It was mapping out the guidelines of where we're heading to sort of fill people with confidence and help people to plan. So the first thing I would say is we actually don't know the specifics. But I would imagine maybe, let's say, for example, you are in either a retail or a hospitality sector where you've really missed out on things over the last couple of months and you want to really, really leverage your opening hours to take as much revenue as possible. I'd say in terms of planning at this stage, there's lots of things that you could do. You could almost make a plan for your usual opening hours and then also make a plan for extended opening hours so that regardless of the further announcements, you've really got a plan, a practical plan and a financial plan in place for both of those things. So the next question has also come from Twitter and it's come from Fiorella. I hope I've pronounced that right. She has said, hi Rachel, in case the furlough scheme is not extended, can I ask my employees to take a leave so that I can plan the finances until then? I want to avoid layoffs until I'm not in a position to pay them at all. Do you have any other alternative strategies to tackle the situation? So firstly, really, really good question. It's something that we're seeing a lot of people anticipate at the moment. So the first thing I would suggest is wait until Wednesday. We are anticipating quite a big announcement surrounding the job retention scheme, furlough, flexi furlough, and actually a plan to help a lot of small businesses almost move from 100% of their workforce being furloughed to bringing them back, and actually how we help them do that. So that's something that we are expecting quite a big announcement for on Wednesday. So firstly, I would say wait till Wednesday. There's also within QuickBooks Connect, they are running a budget panel where they've gathered loads and loads of really amazing experts to discuss the budget announcements in depth and talk about what that means for small business owners. So the second thing I would say, Fiorella, is to definitely tune into QuickBooks Connect. And then the third thing really is once we've got that job retention scheme announcement and we've got a firm date of really when we need to see those changes happen by, I would really, really encourage you to do some cash flow planning. I feel like I talk about cash flow planning on every single Ask the Expert I do, but I just cannot stress enough how vital it is as a small business owner to plan your cash and really cash is the number one reason we are seeing people panic about the furlough scheme and about bringing people back. A lot of the time you need to bring staff back before your revenue has come back. So cash flow planning is something that is really, really going to help you. At the very least, it's going to help you sleep at night because you'll know the finances behind your plan and you'll be able to adjust from there. Cash flow planning is something that I absolutely love doing with a lot of clients. So if that's something you'd really like some help with, please do get in touch with me. But I really hope that has answered your scheme. Okay, so the next question is from Mendes on Facebook Messenger, and they have said, hi, with the 31st of March deadline nearby, I'm now looking at CBILS. Just for anyone that doesn't know, that is the Coronavirus Business Interruption Loan Scheme. How long does it take to apply, and what are the documents required to make the application? So thank you for your question, Mendes. So the first thing I would really encourage you to do, there's two things really important. The first thing is to approach your local business hub and see what support is available to you before you look at CBILS. I'm sure if you're at this point, you've already done that, but I would really encourage you to do that. And then the second thing is to contact your bank. So the bank that you have your business banking with, I would contact them. Generally, if you're going through that process with the bank that you already bank with, there's much less paperwork involved and it is a really, really quick process. And we've seen applications turn around with your bank within 5 days. So definitely approach your high street bank if they take part in the scheme. It's going to be a really, really low stress, high turnaround process for you. Okay, so next question has come from Instagram and it's from Jose. I hope I've said that right. I'm so sorry if I haven't. And they've said, good morning. I received a one-off payment of £2,000 under the local restrictions grant. If the restrictions of the lockdown extend beyond April for us, will there be further grants available under this scheme? So the first thing is that if you receive £2,000 under the local restrictions grant, we are now in a national lockdown, not local lockdown. So if you met the criteria, you probably will meet the criteria for one of the other different grants that I ran through earlier to do with the national lockdown rather than the local lockdown. So that's the first thing. So the first part of this answer is that we're no longer in local lockdowns. It is now national lockdown. So it will probably be a different grant, but there could still be something that you are eligible for. Again, the local restrictions grant was predominantly based on business premises and business rates. So if you qualified for that, you probably will qualify for something else. And again, sorry, I feel like a broken record today. We are expecting really big announcements surrounding the grants and the funding on Wednesday. So again, I would tune into the budget and I would also tune into the budget panel discussion on QuickBooks Connect so that we can really translate this into your business plan. Okay, so we've had a question from Alexander on the Facebook Live feed. And he has said, I set up my business during the pandemic last year. I don't have any physical premises and am completely online. What grants or loans can I potentially apply for? So really, really good question, Alexander. So the first thing I just want to mention really quickly, I did just cover it on the grant section, but because a lot of businesses actually, it's 2020, it's 2021, a lot of businesses don't have physical premises, and a lot of the grants that have been released are the basis for the funding predominantly is business premises and the rateable value. So the government released an extra layer of funding, which is another grant, which is called the Additional Restrictions Grant. So this is for businesses which aren't covered by any other grant. So local authorities can give out this discretionary funding to businesses that aren't eligible for anything else if it's based on rateable value. So again, Alexander, I would really, really encourage you to contact your local support hub. Again, you can Google where is my local support hub, pop your postcode in, and you'll find it there. And then I would contact them, have a chat with them. I must say, we as a business and the feedback that we get from clients, we have had phenomenal feedback from the responsiveness and just the empathy from the people that these business hubs have answering the phones. They know everything about every single grant that's available, and I think Something that's not talked about a lot, especially for business owners, is the fact that this is a really emotional time and applying for funding can be very difficult, and it's actually a very difficult decision for a small business to make. So I would really, really encourage you, Alexander, to contact your local business support hub, have a chat with them, and find out what your next steps are. And again, keep your eyes and ears out on Wednesday for the announcements. Okay, so Stephen on YouTube has asked, hi, good morning. I have done a budget/forecast plan for the next 12 months on an Excel spreadsheet for each of my pubs. Is there a way I can upload these to save me having to type these individually into the budgeting tool? Yes. I think if you're speaking about the QuickBooks budgeting tool, there are definitely import options. Again, the QuickBooks online, there's an amazing platform where you can ask your question and get it answered by experts, accountants, and other small business owners. And a lot of them on there have different upload templates and things like that to really, really help you do something like this, which if it was manually entering would take you a lot of time. There's actually a lot of options online to really, really help you. And then the second thing would be definitely check out Aaron Patrick on YouTube, because I can see that Stephen has sent this question from YouTube. He actually runs a QuickBooks YouTube channel where he can help with all of these things, and he actually runs a live podcast every other Tuesday where you can actually ask him these questions live and get them answered straight away. So I hope that helps you, Stephen. Okay, so Zach from Instagram DM has asked, does the Kickstart grant cover wages, national insurance contributions for 6 months, and when is the deadline to apply? Thanks. Okay, so great question, Zach. So the Kickstart scheme covers 6 months worth of wages at either national minimum wage or national living wage, depending on the age of the applicant. It also covers national insurance contributions, and it also covers auto enrolment contributions. On top of that, you also get £1,500 to help with the setup costs. So if that person needs a laptop or workwear, things like that, £1,500 is what that's there for. And then on top of that, there's also, sorry, I thought that was another part of your question. Oh, the deadline. So at the moment, it's really open-ended, and the only deadline we've seen be put in place is that all of the jobs need to be rolled out by December 2021. Again, I'm thinking that there might be an extension to this within the budget that's released this week, but the only deadline we have at the moment is that the jobs need to be rolled out between now and December 21. I really cannot stress this enough, that the Kickstarter scheme really is incredible. And I think we're a small business too. And when the Kickstart scheme was first released and it was only open to really big companies, I think we almost had a reservation of, we don't really want to take someone on for just 6 months for their benefit, not for ours. Like, from our perspective, the fact that their wages are covered for 6 months is amazing, but it's more about the employee, and we really take people in as family, whether that's clients or staff. Like, we really take people in as family, and we really didn't want to just take someone for 6 months. But having really read and understood the true concept of the scheme, the young individuals that are looking for jobs through the Kickstart scheme are people that have actually really struggled and continuing to struggle over the last 12 months. These could be school leavers that are looking to get their first job and actually just really struggling because those jobs aren't available to them, and at this point they've now been unemployed for 12 months. So for us, it's absolutely win-win. Not only are we, as a small business, getting 6 months worth of paid work, but that young person is also getting 6 months work experience fully paid, which for them is really valuable. The scheme can also be as flexible as you'd like it to. So you can top up their wages. So if you would like to pay that young person more than national minimum wage or living wage, you can top it up. You can also top up their hours. So if you need a 40-hour working week The Kickstart scheme covers 25. You can also top up their wages. You'll just get funding to support the 25. So I would really, really encourage anyone to not only view this as an opportunity to grow and scale your business and actually get some support during a time where, if you are opening for the first time in 12 months, you really will need support, but then also use it as an opportunity to give back and to really, really help a young person. I think that's where we've seen so many benefits, like to be able to give a young person 6 months work experience, glowing reviews, and really set themselves up. We are really excited about it. Okay, so Garrett from Instagram DM has said, "Hi Rachel, can you share how to go about applying for top-ups on my bounce back loan? I want to use the money to manage my supplies and stock up. Will I need to make a fresh application? And also, do I need to produce proof of how I have used the loan money that was already processed?" Okay, amazing question, Garrett. Okay, so for anyone that doesn't know, if you took a bounce back loan in the last 12 months but didn't actually max out how much you could borrow, you are eligible to apply for a top up on the bounce back loan to take you to your loan ceiling. For all of our clients, we are encouraging them basically to go back to the bank that you got the original loan from. So let's say, for example, you bank with Barclays and you took out a loan of 10,000 and you're looking to max out and get another 7, for example. You can go back, and again, on all of the banks that are eligible for the scheme's website, there's a bounce back loan section, and then there's a separate bounce back loan top up section. So if you go through there, they'll ask you just to pop in what your ceiling is, how much you borrowed the first time, and how much you'd like to borrow. The second part of your question, Garrett, was actually around, do you need to produce proof of how you've used the loan so far? The answer is no. We've not seen anybody be asked that. At this point, I think the banks are in a similar situation as us and actually just trying to get through the information as fast as possible. So no, that we've not seen any bank ask someone for proof of where they've spent the money so far. So I hope that answers your question, Garrett. Okay, so whilst I have been chatting away this morning, we have been running a live poll, and the poll results are in. So this morning we asked you, have you ever sacrificed anything for your employees? Which, before we went live, I was saying to the QuickBooks team that this is such a good question. I think as a small business owner, it's almost a bit of a juicy question as well. And so the question was, have you ever sacrificed anything for your employees? And 100% of you said yes, which again, as a small business owner, I absolutely agree. I think a lot of the time it's really easy, and it's a very common thing to sort of put other people before yourself. And I think that comes as a small business owner quite naturally. Amazing. 100% of you said yes. I really can't. That's crazy. Okay, so thank you all so much for tuning in this morning. If you have any questions for me, or if you submitted a question this morning that I wasn't quite able to get to, please do get in touch with me. I would love to see you over on my Instagram page. Again, just search for accountant_she and you'll find me. So coming up on Ask the Expert tomorrow, we've got Sean Goldsmith, who is a special advisor to the franchise industry. Sean works with franchise brands to redevelop their sales and operational structure so that they can be more profitable and better equipped to help their franchisees flourish. So again, I mentioned at the beginning, but don't forget to join the official Intuit QuickBooks SMB group on Facebook, and you can also register for QuickBooks Connect, and you can find the link in the comments to the live stream. I've had the best start to my week on a Monday morning with you guys, so thank you so much for your juicy questions, and have a great day.